children, it's Mrs. Lee here. It's assembly number 7 and it's the week beginning Monday the 30th of October 2023. How are you? I hope that you are okay. Me? Oh, thank you for asking. How kind. I'm okay too. Did you have a good half term? I hope so. Now we're back though, there's so many things that we've got to look forward to this half term. I'm going to show you a few of the things around our school that have changed that you can get involved with. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. I hope that you have a good time when you engage with them. I'm looking forward to seeing what you write along the corridor for all the pictures that I've put on our display. And I'm really looking forward to seeing some of the photographs from class when you strut yourself on our catwalk. All right then children, come. We're going to do our routine. What's the time, Mr. Wolf? Well, I can see that the long hand, which is the minute hand, on our clock, it's red, is pointing towards the number 12. And I know that that means o'clock. I can also see that the short hand, that's the hour hand, is pointing towards the 1. So put that all together and I get, yes, you're right, 1 o'clock. Now, I know that the language of the month is changing. Now, I said that our date for this week is the 30th of October, but on Wednesday we will change to November. And Mrs. Turner would love us to start thinking about using the language Shona. Now, Shona is a language that is spoken in some African countries predominantly. That means mostly, all right? But we do hear that language in our homes, in our school. We've got people who listen and can speak Shona. And one of the words that we would like you to learn is the word Mahari. Mahari. Mahari means hello. Can you say Mahari? Mahari. Now, the flag that I've chosen is a Zimbabwean flag, and that's because Shona is spoken quite a lot in Zimbabwe. There you go. Come, come, come. Now, our Makaton sign of the week has changed, as it always does. Bringing it to you. Ooh, look carefully. You're going to need both your hands for this. We've got to do a bit of a jiggle and move our hands upwards. And we're signing the word fire. Can you sign fire? Fire. Fire. Why do you think Mrs. Lee wants us to learn the sign fire? Yes, that's right. Because at the end of this week, there is going to be a special day where maybe, just maybe, you might be looking out of your windows, or you might be in your garden, or you might go somewhere in the community around Huntingdon to see some fireworks. And there may be a fire. Come, have a little look. Did you see all the different books that are on my display? Now, there's lots of activities for you to engage with, maybe while you're waiting to eat your dinner. As you know, we love you to read books, and we love it if you put the books away neatly back into the boxes. But you might want to do a little bit of drawing while you're waiting. That's fine. In fact, I don't mind at lunchtime what you get up to, as long as you are following our golden rules. How many are there? That's right, there are 7. Sometimes children like you might want to come in because it's a bit too cold outside, and I don't mind. So we have a system in school where you can come and go into the research centre, but you need one of these sticks. One of these sticks will allow you, just for a short amount of time, to maybe read a book, draw a picture. You can do that in the research centre or just outside my office. But that means there are only 5 people. How many? 5. Can you stay there the whole time? That's not fair. We take it in turns. So maybe I come in for a little bit and then maybe you come in for a little bit. And once you've finished your little bit of time, maybe you've finished your drawing or maybe you've read a book, you've warmed up a little bit, you go back outside to get some fresh air, making sure you put your coat on and going out there and finding somebody else to have a go. All right, letting someone else have some time in the research centre or outside Mrs. Lee's office. Now we all have to do this, and we have to, it's really, really, really important, keep it tidy. I'm going to show you everything is neat and tidy. All the books are put away. There are no books on the floor. Only the books by the author of the month are on display. You have got to choose it, use it, put it away. If you don't, and I will shut the research centre and I will take away the sticks and then we can't come in. Up to you. Anyway, let's get back to why we're thinking about fire. That's right, bonfire night is coming up soon. And I'm sure lots of you have got memories about bonfire night already. I bet that at some point you have been to a firework display or you've looked out the window and you've seen lots and lots of fire and fireworks all around. Maybe you've even had a sparkler in your hand, you've been able to write your name with the sparkler. But why do we celebrate it? Well, I'm going to tell you why now. All right, now you might want to have a look at this little book to find out more, or you might want to read this. Now, this is a non-fiction book. This means this book is not made up. It's factual. It's about something that happened many, many years ago, all right? And it's about a man called Guy Fawkes. There's his name. There he is. Okay. Have you got your good listening ears? Right, I'll begin. This is a true story about a plot to kill the King of England, which happened nearly 400 years ago. James was a king of England. People cheered as James went past. There he is. He hasn't got a crown on, has he? But he's still the king. There was a man called Guy Fawkes who watched a king, and he did not cheer. I wonder why he wasn't cheering. Guy Fawkes went to see all of his friends. They did not like the king either. They spoke very quietly in whispers. The king took away our money, they said. We must kill him. This is actually true, children. People actually thought that this was a good idea. Do you? Guy Fawkes and his friends went to a place called the Houses of Parliament, which is in London. This is where the king meets all his important men, said Guy Fawkes. We will blow them up with gunpowder. I wonder if any of you have ever been to the Houses of Parliament. It's a huge, huge building. It's very, very fancy. Guy Fawkes and one of his friends went into the cellar below the Houses of Parliament. They put 36 barrels filled with gunpowder into the cellar. There's the barrels. Now, why do you think he's using a candle to light the way? Well, over 400 years ago, there wasn't electricity. They didn't have lights, which we can switch on and switch off, all right? So the only way for them to see in a deep, dark cellar was to take down a candle. Now, you have to be really, really careful around gunpowder with flames. Gunpowder likes to be lit up. Anyway, they hid those 36 barrels, can you see them? Under the coal and the logs, because they didn't want the soldiers to find them. Now, lots of soldiers would be roaming around because they were there to protect the king. And this was their idea. They were going to blow up the Houses of Parliament. Tomorrow is the 5th of November, said Guy Fawkes. The king and his important men will be in the Houses of Parliament. I will light the gunpowder and blow them all up. What do you think, children? Good idea or not a good idea? Well, the next day, Guy Fawkes went to the House of Parliament, and he was carrying a lantern, a watch, and a tinderbox to light the gunpowder. Okay? This little picture here, actually on the back, is a photograph of the lantern that belonged to Guy Fawkes. All right, there you go. Anyway, he had that in his hands. You see the soldiers? They're watching him. I wonder if they know anything. Suddenly, some soldiers stopped him. Where are you going with that lantern? They asked. Then they found the watch and the tinderbox, and the soldiers arrested Guy Fawkes. The soldiers made Guy Fawkes tell them about the gunpowder plot. They went into the cellar and they found the barrels of gunpowder. The king was angry. Oh, yes, he was. And he said that Guy Fawkes and his friends must be killed. They were taken into the middle of London, and Guy Fawkes and his friends died a horrible, horrible death. Now, way, way back in the past, people used to go and watch these executions. Not very nice. Now, today, on the 5th of November, the soldiers, they go down into the cellars of the Houses of Parliament. They look like this now. They're called beefeaters, all right? They go down and they look for gunpowder. Do you think they're going to find any? No. There's lots of security. If you ever go to the Houses of Parliament, you can go for a tour, but you have to have your bag searched and checked, and they only invite people in who are not going to make any mischief. Now, we remember Guy Fawkes too. Sometimes you'll see people create like a dummy made out of straw and old clothes that is supposed to represent Guy Fawkes. All right, and when Mrs. Lee was little, we used to go and take our Guy that we had made out into the streets, and we used to say, penny for the Guy, and used to try and raise up some money. And then we would take our Guy and we'd put him on a bonfire, and the bonfire would be made by the adults in the community, and we'd put the Guy on then, and then we would burn the Guy. And that's what some people still do today. I don't know if I've seen it very recently. Gosh. I do know, though, that lots of you will probably be going to a firework display, and there might be a bonfire nearby. You might not be able to get as close as these people are in this picture. And you might say this little song, remember, remember the 5th of November, gunpowder, treason and plot. And that's just a little rhyme, just to remind you that the 5th of November is a time that we celebrate somebody who was going to do a very naughty thing, a very bad thing, and it didn't happen. And we remember it, though, by doing fireworks, don't we? Lots of pictures of fireworks here. Gosh, you're going to need your ear defenders on if you don't like too much noise on the 5th of November. If you do go to the firework displays, and maybe you have them in your garden, or maybe you go to the community, can you please, look at Mrs. Lee, please be really, really careful. If you do have a sparkler, what do you do with the sparkler? Do you know? Yes, that's right. You put the sparkler into a bucket of water, and that way that makes the sparkler go dead. So once the sparkler's been done all its fizzing, all its sparkling, it is still very, 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 very hot. Now, I know this, and I tell this story every year, because when I was a little girl, when I was about 5, I thought I would help somebody who had a sparkler. Their sparkler had finished, and I said, oh, let me take it. And I took it with my hand. Can you imagine what happened? Yes, that's right, it burnt a big, big red mark on my hand, which hurt for a long time. I had to go to hospital to go and check it all out. So please make sure if you are when you're finished with your sparkler, don't give it to anybody. You put it in a bucket of water and it will go psss, it'll fizzle because it's so, so hot, and the cold water will make it so it's cool. All right, just leave it there. I'm sure your grown-up will tidy up. And the other thing to always remember is don't go back to firework. So if the firework is being put in your garden and your grown-up is making sure that it's lit and it doesn't explode and do all its fancy stuff, you mustn't go over and check it. You've got to leave it, all right? It's really, really important, children, because the fireworks sometimes take some time before they explode, okay? You just have to be patient. Now, have I remembered everything? Right, we've talked about Guy Fawkes, haven't we? And I've shown you lots of things around the school that you can engage with. I've told you our expectations. So if you choose to make it messy, if you choose it, use it and put it away, everything will carry on. If you don't, I'll have to take things away. What else do I need to remember? Oh, right, yes, don't forget, if you see a grown-up around school with one of these blue lanyards on, you know that we've checked that they're okay to be in school. Sometimes, right, we're going to finish there. Have a lovely, lovely week. Have a lovely, lovely first week back. Mrs. Lee can't speak today. I've got all muddled, haven't I? Have a lovely first week back. I'm looking forward to seeing you around school, especially in the hall, eating lunch at lunchtime very quietly. Right, let's finish off with our school prayer. Help me to do the things I should, to be to others kind and good. In all my work and all my play, to grow more loving every day. Amen. Right, See you soon. Bye.